All right, Dan, thanks again for joining. Very, very excited. I was mind blown on the exit video. Again, I'm going to change some things, but what I want to talk to you today is about mistakes founders make. First and foremost, obviously, it's the exit, right? Like not thinking exit in the center. Sorry, I stole your thunder there, but like, what are the mistakes you see? You talk to all these folks in the SaaS world.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the biggest mistake. So if I think of like some of the strategic work I do with my coaching clients, number one is nailing a niche. And you hear it. I mean, this is what's crazy is like Jason Lemkin talks about it, writes about it in Inevitable to Impossible. I mean, every marketing book starts with pick a niche customer. I think that's the biggest one. So it's like by not doing that, people don't realize that, choosing an ideal customer, not to say you turn people away, right? So like I've got an iPhone. My dad finally got an iPhone. And the reason he got it is because of the flashlight app. He literally bought it because of the flashlight app. So he's definitely not an ideal customer for Apple, but there's the halo effect, right? So I always have to explain this to people. Look, let's pick a niche, let's focus on it. And then you will attract other people lower and higher, but at least we nail that because everything's harder. The marketing is harder, the sales process or the conversion process is harder, the copywriting, the customer success part is harder. Everything, it grows by, almost like an exponential factor if you have multiple customers that you serve, right? From the small to the medium to the enterprise. So first off, I think that people struggle because they don't pick a customer and again, ideal means they have the problem, they know they have the problem, and they are looking for a solution. I want people to write that down because that is in technology, that needs to be true. They know they have the problem, looking for, they have the means to buy it, and they're looking for a solution. So Sujan, that's number one. Number two, I would say is they don't invest in a growth engine and really focus. And what I mean by this is one of the exercises I walk clients through is a growth map and really just doing an audit of what they've done in the past. The other day I got off a new coaching call with a client and they were doing really well. They were 70K MRR and all of a sudden they dropped down to 35 and I get the call and we get on a call and we're kind of digging in. And when you looked at their graph, this was the revenue. It went like this, awesome, spike, and then drop, and then kind of started flatlining. So I just asked, hey, what did you do the 2 or 3 months prior to get that spike? And they go, oh, we did a bunch of partner webinars. I said, awesome. Are you still doing partner webinars? No. Why? I don't know. Okay. So I'm telling you, Sujan, honestly, sometimes this stuff seems so trivial, but it's really just saying, okay, let's audit your marketing. Let's look at the funnel. So I really believe it's about channel, lead magnet, or some kind of conversion opportunity, sales tool or conversion tool, and then follow-up funnel, right? We need to make sure that we understand those. And if we just audit each one of those and color code them, green, this is working 9 out of 10, yellow, this is a 7 or an 8, and then red, anything below that. Then we kind of look at the opportunity ahead of us and say, look, we're almost green on this. We're yellow. Let's fix this, add that, tweak this, boom. Then we get green. Once we get green there, what's cool is for most SaaS companies is they have the same conversion tool and follow-up funnel, right? So then if we can get green on the first funnel, and then we take that and say, okay, well, the second one that's promising is this one. Then we go to that one. Then we start stacking our growth. And that's why for me, my show is called the Growth Stacking Show, because I learned this back in the day in the Valley, that true growth is not a silver bullet. It's not one strategy. It's many strategies stacked, but not forgotten. And you stack them to create this exponential growth that creates the flywheel, the growth engine. So I would say that's the second biggest mistake that founders make is not operationalizing their marketing so that, you see a lot of them, they like content marketing strategy. It's like, okay, we've got a blog. We do all this stuff. We get some traffic. And then they're like, okay, next up, Facebook ads. But they stop writing content. They stop monitoring performance. They don't look at their funnels anymore, right? They're focusing on the new thing. So to me, it's all about operationalizing the channel and making sure that it's efficient and producing. Even just instrumenting your analytics. I mean, that's a big one, but I won't even get into that. And then I would say, Sujan, the next one is not setting goals in a way where you work backwards from them. So here's what I mean by that. We go to the end. Let's say our goal is to crack 2 million in ARR, right? So it's about 166 K a month in MRR, monthly recurring revenue. That's the goal for the year. We want to break it down per quarter. Then we want to set the goals per month. And then we want to ask ourselves how many clients we need and what's our churn numbers and all that stuff. But we got to set the metrics to actually that we need to hit to create that growth ramp. The reason why that's important, Sujin, especially in SaaS, is if you don't hit your mark in the first week to the second week to the third week to the month, in the first, let's call it January. If I don't even trend towards my goal in January, the probability, because of the way MRR grows and stacks, that I'm going to be able to hit the MRR growth at the end of, if I do 2 months and I miss my target, I'm not going to be able to not only grow the amount I was supposed to, but also replace the lost MRR growth. So one of the things that I'm a big fan of is weekly measurement. And it's called the Precision Scorecard. I teach it. You can Google on YouTube. I've got a video on it. And the whole idea is that you work backwards from the annual to the quarterly to the monthly. And on a weekly basis, you measure the actuals to the target so you can get a sense of, are you on pace for that key metric? And if you think of it like a funnel, right? It's really important that that you essentially measure like marketing and sales conversions and customer success and, you know, kind of walk through base of how a customer production would work, right? Those are the metrics, but those are the 3 big ones.
I love it. Yeah. I think one of the things you mentioned, like about the goals, like so many people have these like 1 year, 5 year goals, but like you could be so far off your goal 1 quarter into the year that you're never going to make that goal. And then you just get so demotivated or worse, you don't know you're far off from your 1 year goal. And it's the last quarter of the year and you're trying to make up the goal. And it's just like, well, you had 40 other weeks in the year to go figure out if you were close. So I love that weekly scorecard and it keeps you accountable. It's kind of like if you're a developer, you push in product, right? Like you have sprints. If you miss the sprint and you miss a product release,
velocity. Yeah.
It's okay.
You're counting yourself to velocity.
Yeah, absolutely. Also love the whole stacking of channels. My kind of take on what you said is like, when I get a channel to work, I put a guy on it or a girl. I put a person on it, right?
They operationalize it. That's what I mean. Yeah.
They got to make it and they got to do a better job than me, right? So, but ultimately you've got a person that can make that channel better while you go figure something else out, right? Founders love challenges. Go challenge yourself to another channel. Don't forget about that one. So awesome. And if you guys have any questions below or any specifics, definitely leave a comment.